Hello, Blaise here, and today I'm talking to you about epic experiences and how to create them. In my experience, there are 4 ways of doing it. You have something overwhelmingly huge. You have overwhelmingly huge numbers. You have an overwhelmingly huge story, or miscellaneous, which usually means special effects. The first one, World of Warcraft, does particularly well when you have 40 players all trying to shoot off their best stuff onto Ragnarok. That creates an epic experience. An even better example is Shadow of the Colossus. That whole game was something like 8 boss fights. That was it. But they were tremendous boss fights. In Shadow of the Colossus, you literally climb on these monsters and kill them. Creating an experience through hordes of things, I believe Warhammer 40k did really well. But in Warhammer 40k, there are the orcs, often called the Green Tide, and that game really showed it. The squad system and the ability to build units on the fly really helped maintain that epic feeling of always having a huge army. And they also had this fantastic system where you would have a preference of whether you'd want your units to be ranged or melee. And your units would run up, shooting while they're running forwards, and once they get close enough, they bring out their chainswords. If that's not an epic army experience, I don't know what is. Creating an epic experience through story, it's probably the trickiest one. Usually you only get the experience of how epic everything was after you're done with it. If you've ever played Earthbound or Mother 3, you head from 1-et to Tucson to 3 to 4-side. You usually discover how epic it was once you try to explain it. Special effects or miscellaneous. There's a game called Killing Floor which does slow motion sometimes, but it's a multiplayer first-person shooter, and it does this slow motion for everyone simultaneously, and that's the real cool hook that it has. I mean, you can tell by the name, there's sort of like zombie-like medical experiments that come at you in hordes and you kill them. It's a Killing Floor. It plays this sort of heavy rock music. There's melee kills, and there's also limb loss, and there's also melee limb loss kills. And when you're playing as the melee class, a berserker, you actually have extra Z time, they call it, extensions, which is fantastic as a berserker, because when someone hits Z time and you're there about to kill something and you're like, and you can't see it, but there's like blood and there's a zombie that's being cleaved in half. That is an example of an epic experience with slow motion, which is an effect. Tomorrow, multiplayer DLC, and how they get you and all of your friends to buy them.